There is a moment coming in your life that you will not see arrive. A moment that will either find you awake or find you asleep. Right now, while you scroll, while you work, while you numb yourself with noise, something is shifting in the spirit realm around you. God is not silent. He is positioning something. And the real question is not whether the turning point is coming. It's whether your heart will be ready when it does. You feel it, don't you? That restlessness at 2 a.m. when the phone is finally down and the silence feels too loud. That ache underneath the achievements, the likes, the routines. You've built a life that looks fine on the outside, busy, productive, blessed, but inside, something feels paused, not broken, paused, like you're waiting for permission to feel again, to hope again, to believe God still moves in ordinary lives like yours, not just in testimonies you watch on a screen. Here's what most people miss. A divine turning point never announces itself with fireworks. It comes quietly, disguised as discomfort. It comes as the job that suddenly falls apart, the relationship that goes cold, the diagnosis, the empty bank account, the friend who stops calling. Today's Christian scrolls past pain looking for a quick verse to feel better, instead of sitting still long enough to let God rebuild something. We've become experts at numbing, not healing. And that's the first danger nobody talks about. Point 1. You are addicted to noise, and it's costing you your discernment. Think about your last quiet moment, one with no phone, no music, no scrolling. Can't remember it. That's the problem. Elijah didn't hear God in the earthquake or the fire. He heard him in the still small voice, in silence. 1 Kings 19:12. If your life has no silence, God has no space to speak into it. This is spiritually dangerous because you can miss his voice completely and call it not hearing from God, when really, you never gave him the room. Fix. Give him 10 unscheduled, unscrolled minutes daily. Just you and him. But it gets deeper than that. Point 2. You've confused busyness for faithfulness. You tell yourself you're doing enough. Church on Sunday, a Bible verse shared here, a prayer whispered there. But Martha was busy too. And Jesus gently corrected her, not Mary, who simply sat at his feet. Luke 10:41-42. Today's culture rewards output, not intimacy. This is dangerous because you can serve God your whole life and still not know him personally. The fix isn't doing less, it's doing less performing and choosing more presence. Pay attention to this part, because this is where it gets uncomfortable. Point 3. You carry unprocessed grief, and you've called it moving on. Maybe it's a parent, a marriage, a dream that died quietly. Today's world says, stay strong, don't dwell, focus forward. But Jesus wept at Lazarus's tomb, even knowing the resurrection was seconds away. John 11:35. Suppressed grief doesn't disappear. It hardens into bitterness or numbness. This is spiritually dangerous because a hardened heart cannot recognize a miracle even when it's standing right in front of it. The fix. Let yourself grieve fully before God, not around him. Most people miss this next one completely. Point 4. Comparison has quietly replaced your calling. You open an app, see someone your age with the marriage, the ministry, the money you don't have, and something in you shrinks. Saul chased David out of comparison, and it cost him his kingdom and his peace. 1 Samuel 18:8-9. In today's algorithm-driven world, comparison isn't occasional, it's constant, engineered, relentless. This is dangerous because comparison doesn't just steal joy, it convinces you that your unique assignment from God is somehow less than. The fix. Mute the noise and ask God to show you your own lane again. This is where it becomes dangerous. Point 5. You're waiting for a feeling before you obey. You say, when I feel ready, I'll change. When I feel God's presence, I'll pray more. When I feel forgiven, I'll forgive myself. But Noah built an ark with no rain in sight. Genesis 6:22. Obedience came before the feeling, not after. Modern Christianity has quietly become emotion-driven instead of obedience-driven. This is dangerous because feelings lie. They fluctuate. They're manipulated by sleep, stress, and screens. But obedience doesn't require a feeling. It requires a decision. Fix. Obey today in the dry season, not just in the emotional highs. Here's a question most people avoid asking themselves. What if the turning point you're praying for is actually waiting on the turning point you're avoiding? The apology you haven't made, the habit you haven't surrendered, the calling you keep postponing. Point 6. You're praying for a breakthrough while resisting the breaking. You want the resurrection without the tomb, the promotion without the wilderness, the anointing without the process Joseph endured in prison. First, Genesis 41:1. This is spiritually dangerous because you can spend years asking God to move while unknowingly blocking the very process that would prepare you to carry what you're asking for. Fix. Stop asking when and start asking, what is He forming in me right now? And then there's the one nobody wants to admit. Point 7. You've quietly stopped expecting God to actually show up. Not in words, you'd never say that out loud, but in your actions. You plan your whole life like He isn't real, then pray like He is, and wonder why faith feels hollow. Abraham, at 99, still believed a promise that made no logical sense. Romans 4:19-21. Today's rational, data-driven world has trained you to trust only what you can measure, and that quietly kills expectancy. This is dangerous because a heart with no expectation cannot recognize an answered prayer, even standing right in front of it. Fix. Write down what you're actually expecting God to do and read it daily until faith rises again. Do you see it now? These 7 things aren't random flaws. They're the exact obstacle standing between you and the turning point you've been begging God for. Noise blocking His voice. Busyness replacing intimacy. Grief hardening your heart. Comparison stealing your calling. Feelings replacing obedience. Resistance to breaking. And quiet unbelief disguised as being realistic. Strip those away, one at a time, and you're not the same person anymore. You're someone ready to receive what's coming. I need you to hear this clearly. God is not punishing you by making you wait. He is preparing you. Every delay you've cried over, every door that closed, every prayer that seemed unanswered, it wasn't neglect, it was construction. You are being built into someone who can actually carry what you're asking for. Because right now, in your current state, some of you would collapse under the weight of the very blessing you're praying for. That's not condemnation. That's love with a plan. If any part of this touched something real in you, don't scroll past it like it's just another video. Comment one word below, just one word describing what you're believing God for right now, because there is power in speaking it, not just thinking it. Someone else watching this needs to see your comment to have courage for their own. And if this stirred something in your spirit, send it to the one person you know is quietly exhausted, quietly waiting, quietly losing hope. This might be the exact word they've been asking God for. This channel isn't here to entertain you. It's here to wake something up in you. If that's what you want more of, subscribe, not because I'm asking you to, but because your spirit is asking you to stay awake, stay ready, stay watching. The turning point doesn't wait for convenient timing. It comes for those who are prepared, not just those who are hopeful. So here's where I leave you. Somewhere between your last disappointment and your next breakthrough, God is working quietly, patiently, precisely. The turning point is near. Not because I'm saying it, but because He never stops moving on behalf of those who wait with an open, honest, surrendered heart. Close your eyes right now, just for a moment, and pray this with me. Lord, prepare my heart. Strip away what's dulling my hearing, my expectation, my faith. I don't want to miss this moment when it comes. Make me ready, and when you open your eyes again, don't go back to sleep.